Hi. So we are starting with the title The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People Powerful Lessons in Personal Change. Let's go to the page number 5. Let me know when you are ready, Murari.
Sir, I am ready, sir.
You're on page number 5, which says Part 1 Paradigms and Principles.
Yes, sir.
Great. Okay. Inside Out. There is no real excellence in all this world which can be separated from right living. David Starr Jordan. In more than 25 years of working with people in business, university, and marriage and family settings, I have come in contact with many individuals who have achieved an incredible degree of outward success, but I have found themselves struggling with an inner hunger, a deep need for personal congruency and effectiveness, and for healthy, growing relationships with other people. I suspect some of the problems they have shared with me may be familiar to you. I have set and met my career goals and I am having tremendous professional success, but it's cost me my personal and family life. I don't know my wife and children anymore. I am not even sure I know myself and what's really important to me. I have had to ask myself, is it worth it? I have started a new diet for the fifth time this year. I know I am overweight and I really want to change. I read all the new information. I set goals. I get myself all psyched up with a positive mental attitude and tell myself that I can do it, but I don't. After a few weeks, I fizzle. I just can't seem to keep a promise I make to myself. I've taken course after course on effective management training. I expect a lot out of my employees and I work hard to be friendly toward them and to treat them right. But I don't feel any loyalty from them. I think if I were homesick for a day, they'd spend most of their time gabbing at the water fountain. Why can't I train them to be independent and responsible or find employees who can be? My teenage son is rebellious and on drugs. No matter what I try, he won't listen to me. What can I do? There is so much to do, and there is never enough time. I feel pressured and hassled all day, every day, 7 days a week. I have attended time management seminars and I have tried half a dozen different planning systems. They have helped some, but I still don't feel I am living the happy, productive, peaceful life I want to live. I want to teach my children the value of work, but to get them to do anything, I have to supervise every move and put up with complaining every step of the way. It's so much easier to do it myself. Why can't children do their work cheerfully and without being reminded? I am busy, really busy, but sometimes I wonder if what I am doing will make a difference in the long run. I would really like to think there was meaning in my life, that somehow things were different because I was here. I see my friends or relatives achieve some degree of success or receive some recognition, and I smile and congratulate them enthusiastically. But inside, I'm eating my heart out. Why do I feel this way? I have a forceful personality. I know in almost any interaction, I can control the outcome. Most of the time, I can even do it by influencing others to come up with the solution I want. I think through each situation, and I really feel the ideas I come up with are usually the best for everyone. But I feel uneasy. I always wonder what other people really think of me and my ideas. My marriage has gone flat. We don't fight or anything. We just don't love each other anymore. We have gone to counseling, we have tried a number of things, but we just can't seem to rekindle the feeling we used to have. These are deep problems, painful problems, problems that quick fix approaches can't solve. A few years ago, my wife Sandra and I were struggling with this kind of concern. One of our sons was having a very difficult time in school. He was doing poorly academically. He didn't even know how to follow the instructions on the tests, let alone do well in them. Socially, he was immature, often embarrassing those closest to him. Athletically, he was small, skinny, and uncoordinated, swinging his baseball bat, for example, almost before the ball was even pitched. Others would laugh at him. Sandra and I were consumed with a desire to help him. We felt that if success were important in any area of life, it was supremely important in our role as parents. So we worked on our attitudes and behavior toward him, and we tried to work on his. We attempted to psych him up using positive mental attitude techniques. Come on, son, you can do it. We know you can. Put your hands a little higher on the bat and keep your eye on the ball. Don't swing till it gets close to you. And if we did a little better, we would go to a great lengths to reinforce him. That's good, son. Keep it up. When others left, we reprimanded them. Leave him alone. Get off his back. He's just learning. And our son would cry and insist that he'd never be any good and that he didn't like baseball anyway. Nothing we did seemed to help, and we were really worried. We could see the effect this was having on his self esteem. We tried to be encouraging and helpful and positive, but after repeated failure, we finally drew back and tried to look at the situation on a different level. At this time in my professional role, I was involved in leadership development work with various clients throughout the country. In that capacity, I was preparing bi monthly programs on the subject of communication and perception for IBM's Executive Development Program participants. As I reached and prepared these presentations, I became particularly interested in how perceptions are formed, how they behave. This led to this led me to a study of expectancy theory and self-fulfilling prophecies, or the Pygmalion effect, and to a realization of how deeply embedded our perceptions are. It taught me that we must look at the lens through which we see the world as well as as well as at the world we see, and that the lens itself shapes how we interpret the world. As Sandra and I talked about the concepts I was teaching at IBM and about our own situation, we began to realize that what we were doing to help our son was not in harmony with the way we really saw him. When we honestly examined our deepest feelings, we realized that our perception was that he was basically inadequate, somehow behind. No matter how much we worked on our attitude and behavior, our efforts were ineffective because, despite our actions and our words, what we really communicated to him was, "You aren't capable, you have to be protected." We began to realize that if we wanted to change the situation, we first had to change ourselves. And to change ourselves effectively, we first had to change our perceptions. The personality and character ethics. At the same time, in addition to my research on perception, I was also deeply immersed in an in depth study of the success literature published in the United States since 1776. I was reading or scanning literally hundreds of books, articles, and essays in fields such as self improvement, popular psychology, and self help. At my fingertips was the sum and substance of what a free and democratic people considered to be the keys to successful living. As my
Uh,
study
Mr. Naresh, if after every section would you like to discuss before you go to the next? Because all these things, as you said, is a little hi-fi.
Yes, exactly. That's what I thought, Miss Kanti. I thought I'll give it a pause and ask, but
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that for this book because this
mhm.
book is slightly on the higher side and it's good for us to discuss also, all of us.
True, and it is too much for me to even read and remember, honestly, because it keeps
Yeah, yeah.
going one dimensional.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm? Okay.
So, how do we go about this? Can you just set an example?
Yeah, just a second, please. Let me open my version of the book because I didn't open it.
Okay,
I was
no
just
worries.
listening to you.
Cool, cool, no problem.
I was just listening to you. I didn't open it. Okay. Okay.
I mean,
Okay. I think you can start off with what the other people were saying. Okay. What is Inside Out. We'll start off with discussing Inside Out. And then we go to personality and character ethics. Okay.
later.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I ask Mr. Burari to just brief what he understood or what words did he find to be a little challenging to understand?
Yes, sir. Like the word called like rebellious,
Uh-huh.
rebellious,
Re-
Rebellious.
rebellious,
Re- yeah.
re-
Rebellious.
rebellious.
rebellious is
Yeah.
something, okay, is somebody who does not uh, follow certain rules or who wants to break the rules.
Okay.
Anything more?
No, sir. Like I want to know that single word.
Okay, can you tell me what exactly did you understand by the word rebellious now?
Yeah, sir. Like the word like the work should be done within time, uh, like with perfectly and like it things.
Okay, the work should be done perfectly within some given time. But a person who does that, is he called rebellious, or a person who does not do it is called rebellious?
Who does not uh, do the work?
That's good. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me one or two lines about this paragraph that I read. Can you do that?
That Inside and Out. Did you make any notes about it?
No, like just I am listening.
Okay, 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 fine, fine. So Taranjit, would you like to go about the Inside Out thing?
Yes, good evening. Kanti ma'am, really very sorry that I could not understand. I was on the other phone. The conversation that you and Naresh sir had.
No, no. So what we're
Yeah.
doing is we are going to be, because the concepts are very deep. We are going section by section. After every section, we're going to have a short discussion, and
Yeah,
then we are going to go to
yeah,
the next section.
yeah,
Okay. So Naresh sir has finished about 2 sections right now. I
yeah.
think he's in the,
That I heard. Yes.
yeah.
The
So
starting paragraph. To be very truthful, I always feel that.
mm,
Many a times I feel that as a parent, even though my children are prosperous, but then also at times I was a single parent. So I feel that I am not enough. There are so many things. Might be I have tried to handle so many things at a in the same length, being a daughter, mother, my own self, working, everything filled into one. So what the author has written in starting, I feel that it is really truth, and it takes a lot of courage to speak up. a lot of courage to say yes, that I am wrong somewhere. There is something, there is a flaw. I need help. These things nowadays it has become easier, but back it was not that easier. So I really resonate with what he's saying.
True, true,
Inside
true,
out thing, I really resonate with it.
true. Even I was like thinking, you know, every time we take up one responsibility, say there's a responsibility, you have to deal with it as a daughter or a daughter-in-law or a wife. What about the rest of the responsibilities? We take they take a back seat. Are we being fair? Are we not being fair? I
You know,
don't know. I keep
like something I have become selfish now, frankly speaking. In say a New Year resolution or what, I don't know. But 1 month back, I realized to myself that I have been in this 57 years. I have been working so hard to improve others' life. I've always kept myself at the end.
same here.
Little things also, na, like for example, I would say if my mother bought something, so I would say no, give the best things to others. I'm here only, where I have to go? I don't have to go anywhere. I am here only at home. You give it, it's okay. Give it to my sister, my sister-in-law, my nieces, my daughter, but not to me. But now I don't know, some suddenly something has changed inside me. I said nothing doing. I, me, myself. First, I have to keep myself. If I'm comfortable, then only others. Even though in this process I've lost many relationships, but yes, I don't regret it, because I have given my 1,000%. I would not even say 100%. I've given everything, but I have never expected anything back in return. And the second thing is, like, when I have stood by you with through thick and thin, now are the good times. I just need you to talk to me or something like that, and you're not there. So you might not be there at all. So I know I'm
True,
being
true.
rude, but that is what it is me. Now I've thought to myself, no, I am going to live for myself. I've lived for 57 long years for everyone. Now nothing doing. Nothing. Now Taranjit comes first and rest will come behind later.
Good, 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 good. More power to you.
Thank you. Like I've joined so many courses, self-improvement, this, Vedic maths, and reading books. So is my hobby. You know that very well.
Yes. And Mr. Naresh, what is your takeaway?
As Ms. Taranjit ma'am was saying, it clearly reminded me of a saying called only if you can take care of yourself can you take care of others.
Yeah, in fact, that's what even I'm learning. So I've realized that I have to take care of myself. And even I've crossed 50 in my 50s. I'm in my early 50s. And I realized that if I don't take care of my health now,
Mhm.
the future is going to be really bad if I don't take care of
Yeah.
myself.
You cannot pour from an empty vessel. You cannot.
Yeah,
This I have learned very late in life. But yes, now when I have learned it, I'm going to carry it out. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. I have been pouring, giving and giving and giving and giving, and I'm really left dry. There's nothing more which I can give. I need now at this stage of my life when I lost my job, my health is not well and all. I needed that emotional support. I did not need financially anything, but that emotional support also did not come through. For the people whom I have walked miles, they don't even jump a step. They don't even jump a puddle. For whom I've crossed oceans. So really, I'm sorry, but this is the truth, bitter truth.
yes, 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 sir. We can go to the next thing.
Sure.
Murari, I'm sure you're thinking, what is this all old people and all old problems? But believe me, this problem is we tend to look for everybody else and not look after ourselves. Please learn the lesson when you're young. Look after yourself
Yeah, ma'am.
too.
Yeah, ma'am, like I'm taking like a lot of inputs. What the Taranjit ma'am and like you were telling and sir.
Yes, good, good, good. So, sir, we go to the next thing. What was the?
Yeah. Can I continue, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can continue.
Okay. The personality and the character ethics. At the same time, in addition to my research on perception, I was also deeply immersed in an in depth study of the success literature published in the States since 1776. I was reading or scanning literally hundreds of books, articles, and essays in fields such as self improvement, popular psychology, and self help. At my fingertips was the sum and substance of what a free and democratic people considered to be the keys to successful living. As my study took me back through 200 years of writing about success, I noticed a startling pattern emerging in the content of the literature. Because of our own pain and because of similar pain I had seen in the lives and relationships of many people I had worked with throughout the years, I began to feel more and more that much of the success literature of the past 50 years was superficial. It was filled with social image consciousness, techniques, and quick fixes, with social band aids and aspirin that addressed acute problems and sometimes even appeared to solve them temporarily, but left the underlying chronic problems untouched to fester and resurface time and again. In stark contrast, almost all the literature in the first 150 years or so focused on what could be called the character ethic as the foundation of success. Things like integrity, humility, fidelity, temperance, courage, justice, patience, industry, simplicity, modesty, and the golden rule. Benjamin Franklin's autobiography is representative of that literature. It is basically the story of one man's effort to integrate certain principles and habits deep within his nature. The character ethic thought that there are basic principles of effective living and that people can only experience true success and enduring happiness as they learn and integrate these principles into their basic character. But shortly after World War One, the basic view of success shifted from the character ethic to what we might call the personality ethic. Success became more function of personality, of public image, of attitudes and behaviors, skills and techniques that lubricate the process of human interaction. This personality ethic essentially took two paths. One was human and public relations techniques, and the other was positive mental attitude, PMA. Some of this philosophy was expressed in inspiring and sometimes valid maxims such as your attitude determines your altitude. Smiling wins more friends than frowning, and whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Other parts of the personality approach were clearly manipulative, even deceptive, encouraging people to use techniques to get other people to like them or to fake interest in the hobbies of others to get out of them what they wanted, or to use the power look or to intimidate their way through life. Some of this literature acknowledged character as an ingredient of success, but tended to compartmentalize it rather than recognize it as a foundational and catalytic. Reference to the character ethic became mostly lip service. The basic thrust was quick fix influence techniques, power strategies, communication skills, and positive attitudes. This personality ethic, I began to realize, was the subconscious source of the solutions Sandra and I were attempting to use with our son. As I thought more deeply about the difference between the personality and character ethics, I realized that Sandra and I had been getting social mileage out of our children's good behavior. And in our eyes, this son simply didn't measure up. Our image of ourselves and our role as good, caring parents was even deeper than our image of our son and perhaps influenced it. There was a lot more wrapped up in the way we were seeing and handling the problem than our concern for our son's welfare. As Sandra and I talked, we became painfully aware of the powerful influence of our character and motives and of our perception of him. We knew that social comparison motives were out of harmony with our deeper values and could lead to conditional love and eventually to our son's lessened sense of self worth. So we determined to focus our efforts on us, not on our techniques, but on our deepest motives and our perception of Him. Instead of trying to change Him, we tried to stand apart, to separate us from Him, and to sense His identity, individuality, separateness, and worth. Through deep thought and the exercise of faith and prayer, we began to see our son in terms of his own uniqueness. We saw him within him layers and layers of potential that would be realized at his own pace and speed. We decided to relax and get out of his way and let his own personality emerge. We saw our natural role as begin to affirm, enjoy, and value him. We also conscientiously worked on our motives and cultivated internal sources of security so that our feelings of worth were not dependent on our children's acceptable behavior. As we loosened up our old perception of our son and developed value based motives, new feelings began to emerge. We found ourselves enjoying him instead of comparing or judging him. We stopped trying to clone him in our own image or measure him against social expectations. We stopped trying to kindly positively manipulate him into an acceptable social mold because we saw him as fundamentally adequate and able to cope with life. We stopped protecting him against the ridicule of others. He had been nurtured on this protection, so he went through some withdrawal pains, which he expressed and which we accepted, but did not necessarily respond to. We don't need to protect you, was the unspoken message. You are fundamentally okay. As the weeks and months passed, he began to feel a quiet confidence and affirmed himself. He began to blossom at his own pace and speed. He became outstanding as measured by standard social criteria, academically, socially, and athletically, at a rapid clip, far beyond the so called natural developmental process. As the years passed, he was elected to several student body leadership positions, developed into an all state athlete, and started bringing home straight A report cards. He developed an engaging and guideless personality that has enabled him to relate in non threatening ways to all kinds of people. Sandra and I believe that our son's social impressive accomplishments were more of a serendipitous expression of the feelings he had about than than merely a response to social reward. This was an amazing experience for Sandra and me and a very instructional one in dealing with our other children and other roles as well. It brought to our awareness on a very personal level the vital difference between the personality ethic and the character ethic of success. The psalmist expressed our conviction well. Search your own heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. Ma'am?
Yes, sir. Okay. So, Murari, is there anything that you want to, is there any word you want to speak about, or did you understand the whole story, what happened?
Yeah, like I want to know the word of like frowning.
Frowning.
Yeah,
Okay. So, would you like to take it?
Frowning, is it?
yeah, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Frowning is similar to sadness and the action of being sad, expressing sadness.
And anger.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of smiling.
Yeah. And also like diligence.
Diligence.
Diligence. Yeah.
I'm searching for the dictionary meaning, but we can call diligence as something with careful importance or uh,
Respect for work.
yeah,
That's the easiest way to say. How sincere you are to work is how diligent you are.
Yeah.
right. Synonyms can be sincere.
Yeah. So there's something one of the counselors used to always tell my children, that your marks are not a sign of intelligence, it's a sign of diligence. So remember that. That means it shows how you're willing to work hard. Your marks are not because you're intelligent, it is because you're willing to work hard. Okay, diligence is to sincere working hard. Yeah.
Right, right.
Anything else, Murari?
No.
Okay, fine. Taranjit, would you like to go?
Yeah, I would second what Kanti ma'am has said, that something that you, what the author is also saying, some things are there that require internal changes. Like I can teach, this is an example which I usually give to my teachers. Every time when all the teachers teach you 2 plus 2 is 4. But hardly there are teachers, those who teach you that 5 minus 1 is also 4. So these are some things, that some internal changes that we do with which we that happen automatically. Sometimes it is only a change of attitude. Sometimes it is a change of perception, what we are looking at. So these many a times, like I am convicted to something, I will hold on to it. But if I break that and see from a new perspective, the things are much easier. This is what I feel.
Okay, so what really struck me was the fact that how people, how the things of the, I mean, how people started not looking at character as a part of success. Earlier, till World War One, people always looked at character. So they're looking at somebody, they say, oh, he's a good person, he's a strong person. That was a sign of success. But later on, no, that was not the sign of success. They started looking at personality, which I was like, interesting. And I also like the fact that the author and his wife were able to consider that, because I think almost all of us parents fall in this trap that we uh, think because our children are well behaved, it's a um, good mark on us that we've done a good job. We forget that every child is individual. We forget that if they're behaving well, it's because it is their nature also to behave well. Maybe your nurturing is good, but the nature also has to accept. We completely forget that there's some natural abilities in everybody, and those abilities will be different in every child. I'm so very happy to hear this book. Mr. Naresh, would you like to go?
Yeah, I was thinking in the lines of where the writer was initially focusing on the out external factors, like how the community or the society would look at his son. But after questioning his own values or discussing it with his wife Sandra, they think they had to let loose of the control on the kid and let him shine his own light.
Yeah, exactly. That's what really, especially the fact that, we define our relationship with our children with how the world says.
Hmm.
And that's what struck me, that yeah, we should allow them the freedom to be themselves. Yeah.
Exactly.
I totally, many a times, like when we see that a parent is a doctor, of the child has to be a parent is like a parent is successful like this, and if the children don't turn out to be, then it is said ki, yes, they did not take good care of them. But the child should be you should let the child be whatever he wants to be, because he has his own purpose of life. You cannot just impose your thoughts on him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Murari, you've heard all our discussion. We are all speaking from a point of view as a parent. What is your point of view as a child?
Uh, like what you have told, like according to the like parent, it is good. Like when we think when like we are a child, like we are a children, like we feel like a torture, like they are like make to do some like like daily they are forcing to do something. I think like that to do to do some work like routine, like the child will think like that.
Yeah, so what happens is what we are saying, what we think is as parents, no, we want you people to behave a certain way because it reflects good in ours. Like, people will say, oh, so and so's child is such a well behaved child. Okay, so it increases our reputation.
Yeah, ma'am, it's correct. Like
So, but the thing is, we have to allow you to, we also have to understand that you're an individual and there will be things that some people may like. See, I remember my children were very, they used to like music, and my mother-in-law never used to like the music my children liked. So I just feel like, okay, I had to handle both. I had to give my
yeah,
children the freedom to allow them to enjoy the music they do. And I also had to tell them that, Nanama doesn't like this, so please be aware of it when you're playing it.
yeah, like when we do like good things in our like village or a city, like around our village, like they will proudly say that like he is son of this, like he is son of this guy. And
Yes. And if you don't do something, the same people will say, this man's son didn't do it.
yeah, it's correct.
Yeah. So we can go forth, sir.
Uh,
We
I
have
w- I
another
wanted to
15
add,
minutes. Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to add a small point like what I noticed. We in the recent times we hear the word micromanagement a lot in corporate sector.
Sir, you have to learn the lessons from a mother, sir. How micromanaging a mother will be.
But I was thinking micromanagement versus freedom or guidance.
True, 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 true. But the thing is, it's so difficult to let go. So difficult to let go. Yeah. Yes, sir. We can, if you think there's enough time to read another passage, we'll read the passage and we'll discuss it and then close the meeting.
Okay, I think we can definitely read another passage.
Okay, sir.
So we are on primary and secondary greatness. My experience with my son, my study of perception, and my reading of the success literature coalesced to create one of the aha experiences in life when suddenly things click into place. I was suddenly able to see the powerful impact of the personality ethic and to clearly understand those subtle, often consciously unidentified discrepancies between what I knew to be true, some things I had been taught many years ago as a child, and things that were deep in my own inner sense of value. And the quick fix philosophies that surrounded me every day. I understood at a deeper level why, as I had worked through the years with people from all walks of life, I had found that the things I was teaching and knew to be effective were often at variance with these popular voices. I am not suggesting that elements of the personality ethic, personality growth, communication skill training, and education in the field of influence strategies and thinking are not beneficial. In fact, sometimes essential for success. I believe they are, but these are secondary, not primary traits. Perhaps in utilizing our human capacity to build on the foundation of generations before us, we have inadvertently become so focused on our own building that we have forgotten the foundation that holds it up, or in reaping for so long where we have not sown. Perhaps we have forgotten the need to sow. If I try to use human influence strategies and tactics of how to get other people to do what I want, to work better, to be more motivated, to like me and each other, while my character is fundamentally flawed, marked by duplicity and insincerity, then in the long run, I cannot be successful. My duplicity will breed distrust, and everything I do, even using so called good human relation techniques, will be perceived as manipulative. It simply makes no difference how good the rhetoric is or even how good the intentions are. If there is a little or no trust, there is no foundation for permanent success. Only basic goodness gives life to technique. To focus on technique is like cramming your way through school. You sometimes get by, perhaps even get good grades, but if you don't pay the price day in and day out, you never achieve true mastery of the subjects you study or develop an educated mind. Did you ever consider how ridiculous it would be to try to cram on a farm, to forget to plant in the spring, play all summer, and then cram in all the fall to bring in the harvest? The farm is a natural system. The price must be paid and the process followed. You always reap what you sow. There is no shortcut. This principle is also true ultimately in human behavior, in human relationships. They too are natural systems based on the law of the harvest. In the short run, in an artificial social system such as school, you may be able to get by if you learn how to manipulate the man made rules. Play the game. In most one shot or short lived human interactions, you can use the personality ethic to get by and to make favorable impressions through charm and skill and pretending to be interested in other people's hobbies. You can pick up quick, easy tactics that may work in short term situations, but secondary traits alone have no permanent worth in long term relationships. Eventually, if there isn't deep integrity and fundamental character strength, the challenges of life will cause true motives to surface, and human relationship failure will replace short term success. Many people with secondary greatness, that is, social recognition for their talents, lack primary greatness or goodness in their character. Sooner or later, you will see this in every long term relationship they have, whether it is with a business associate, a spouse, a friend, or a teenage child going through an identity crisis. It is character that communicates most eloquently, as Emerson once put it, what you are shout so loudly in my ears that I cannot hear what you say. There are, of course, situations where people have character strength but they lack communication skills, and that undoubtedly affects the quality of relationships as well. But the effects are still secondary. In the last analysis, what we are communicates far more eloquently than anything we say or do. We all know it. There are people we trust absolutely because we know their character, whether they're eloquent or not, whether they have the human relation techniques or not, we trust them and we work successfully with them. In the words of George Jordan, into the hands of every individual is given a marvelous power for good or evil, the silent, unconscious, unseen influence of his life. This is simply the constant radiation of what man really is, not what he pretends to be. That brings us to the next chapter, the power of a paradigm.
Okay, sir. We will start with the discussion. So, Murari, are there any words you want to know the meaning of?
No, like I can understand.
Great. So, what did you understand about this, what he said?
Yeah, like if we are doing any work, like we should be consistency, and like it will like any success came in like short term means it may not give us like long term happiness, I think.
Yes, yes, yes. And you know, that's something that people of this generation need to understand, that there's no shortcut to hard work.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to become overnight sensation. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants to go achieve huge things without working for it. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. Sir, what is your takeaway?
I think the writer clearly says if there isn't proper foundations that are built or the character isn't strong enough, once the once a person starts finding difficulties or difficult situations, things will crumble, and whatever he pretends to be or whatever he pretends to be will fall apart, and what is real will definitely be shown in will come to reality.
Yes, yes. Every time there's a stress and you fall apart. So the funny part is, in my life, I can say that very rarely have I fallen apart. But when I do fall apart, it's spectacular. It's seriously spectacular. The things that I've achieved that even surprise me. But certain things that I'm just not able to conquer. So I guess that means there's a lot of me I need to work on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taranjit, ma'am.
I like the sentence by William George Jordan, which ended the paragraph, what we were reading, the passage that we were reading. Into the hands of every individual is given a marvelous power for good or evil. The silent, unconscious, unseen influence in his life. This is simply the constant radiation of what man really is and not what he pretends to be. No, the inner core of people, very few people know you. So you got to count it on your one hand. It is not uh, that inner self that is only known by hardly one or two people. You can pretend to the whole world, but you cannot pretend to them. I
True.
today in the late evening only I was reading one quote that if you want a relationship in which I have to enact, I don't want that kind of a relationship. This you can say to a person who like who knows you inside out, like how we started the inside out thing. So that has to be you have to be really true, and uh, you are good or bad, you have done something wrong or right, that only your inner self knows. No one else knows where you
True.
stand, what you do. So these qualities in life, they matter a lot. As you said, falling apart many a times. I don't know how many times I've fallen apart, but the value system that I have, the I would say the tag that I have given to myself, that I'm very strong, I have to come out of it. There's no way I can fall down because I am the pillar for so many. So I have to do it. So this is
So,
what has, I think so, I've survived so many years.
so I think that's one thing I recently came across a friend telling me. You have to do it for yourself, not for others.
Definitely at this stage of our life, we have to understand that it is some things are there which we need to, not some things, many things are there which we now need to do for ourselves rather than doing it for others. And I think so, Murari, this is a lesson for you, because don't try, don't take it other way that you have to be selfish, but definitely there are things that where you should keep yourself as a priority and not anyone else.
Yeah, like I come to know like a lot of inputs from you.
And it's really
Sir, what about you, sir?
when you ask meanings of words, that's really very great.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I think this implies to me also because I am in that stage where I see ups and downs a lot, and sometimes when I see myself see in a better state, I do need to feel that that's not the end of it, and when I feel down, that's not the end of it too. I need to rebalance, gain composure, and keep moving, as the book also states. It's about the character and the foundations.
True. I think the beauty of this book reading sessions are that, we also get to think. We are not reading it just to just read. We are reading it to absorb and understand and discuss. I think that's the beauty of these book sessions.
And also,
True.
we learn from like
Each
what
other.
four of us, yes, whatever we speak from heart. And, this is like we don't have any inhibitions over here, and we can
Yes.
express ourselves freely. So this
Yes.
is something really great, something great.
This is a safe place.
Yes, it's a safe place. True.
Sandhya, would you like to say something? Did you hear anything?
Sorry, Kanti, I was not here. I had some
Okay.
work.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll close the meeting. Thank you so much, Naresh sir, Taranjit, Murari.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you.
And
Good night.